timers for the planning board members and how long they can last?
Yeah, do that.
That's common council stuff.
I gotta give a couple of them to Ruger, you know what I mean? Here you go, got one there, put done, get out of here.
You need a lot bigger one.
I know.
There you go. There you
Cody, all
He's
set?
actually excellent though.
Okay, all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the planning board meeting to order. Okay, I guess we're.
This is the stuff from last month in my car, which I grabbed.
Okay, well, better than what I have. So we're re-reviewing the subdivision application, planning board application number 2017-20. We do have a short form seeker, and this is for subdivision review, request to subdivide the lot into 2 parcels. Applicant is Tom Maggie, and plan developer is Dean Lashway. One of you have the
Oh, go ahead.
podium and explain the project.
The applicant has a parcel that fronts on to Kentucky, Kansas, and Louisiana, Kentucky and Kansas Avenue. And currently, those 2 streets create parcels that are standalone parcels that exist under one deed. And what he's looking to do is to take part of that land, of remaining lands, lot 1A, which is a 1.1 acre parcel, and lot 1B, which is a 0.22 acre parcel, and sell those to an individual who will further develop those. Lot 1B obviously will not be further subdivided, but will be developed. Lot 1A very likely will be further subdivided. There was, when I had dropped the application off to the city engineer's office, Adam had indicated, had some questions about the restrictions. I know that there were restrictions that were in place when we had completed the subdivision on the backside of Lot 1A, and doing some further research. In the original conveyance from the U.S. government to the Clinton County Industrial Development Agency, on Section 7, subpart 6, I think it was, they indicated that upon such time that the restrictions are no longer needed, that the U.S. government would take the responsibility. In the event that the environmental use restriction covenants contained in this section are no longer necessary, the United States will record in any appropriate document modifying or removing such use restrictions as appropriate. That was a deed that was from the United States of America to the Clinton County Industrial Development Agency back in 2004. In 2011, the U.S. government did complete the remediation of the contaminated area, the plume area, and in March of 2012, they issued a remedial action completion report that basically restates what those restrictions were, and then on Section 7 of that report, they go on to indicate that all known sources of soil and groundwater contamination have been removed from the site, and site groundwater has been remediated such that it meets the current New York State DEC groundwater quality standards for the contaminants originally identified to be of concern. The biosphere system components and the site monitoring wells, IS meters, have have all been removed or decommissioned in place. Remedial action for the BXS site is complete, and the use restrictions described in section 6 of the deed are no longer needed. What I have found out that is that pretty certain that those restrictions, has not been a document that has been actually filed by the U.S. government. I have contacted with Dave Farnsworth to let him know what I have found and do some research. It's been probably a good month and a half, maybe 2 months, about a month and a half since I last spoke with him. And in the pre-meeting, we talked about doing a follow-up email with Mr. Farnsworth to find out, have you done the research you need to do and what's the status? And is the government going to follow through with releasing those restrictions? As I indicated earlier, the restrictions are still there. They're there because of the contaminants that were there. The cleanup process had to complete, and the New York State DEC has acknowledged that it is complete. It's just the paperwork that needs to be done to get them filed to release those.
What do you propose at this point then, as far as this subdivision goes?
There's still, with the subdivision, I'm moving forward, those restrictions are still in place. We're going to push to get that taken care of. And whether it's under Mr. Maggie's ownership or the next landowner's ownership, there needs to be a follow-up to make sure that these restrictions are taken care of. One of the more important things is the fact that it's cleaned up. It's a matter of a paper trail now just to finish the process. The government hasn't done that. But we will be following up through to make sure that Mr. Feinberg acknowledges, yep, you're right. It is the U.S. government's responsibility to get a document in place to release these restrictions. It doesn't mean that the project can't move forward. They're just still there. There is nothing there to be concerned about now because the contaminants are gone. But not just this parcel or what Mr. Maggie has on the west side of Kentucky Street, but any of the landowners that are out there. If for some reason they do the refinance, whatever, and once they're filed, then everybody that was part of this restriction of those lots along Louisiana, both north and south side of Louisiana, they're also affected because it comes out of their title.
Within those restrictions, does that carry down with it some of like the vapor mitigation systems that were implemented in the other? It
was when we did the first phase, and we did the second phase. At that point, during the first phase, the lots on the north side, we didn't have this report, and there was a mitigation having the county report, the vapor removal. Yeah. But the second phase, I don't believe that it was there because this was in place.
That's a removal. Yeah. Can I ask, have you run this by your lawyer, Tom? Lawyer, anything on this or no?
I'm pretty certain that. No.
Not about it, no, who's your lawyer? Matt?
Kathy's lawyer.
Oh, okay. Lawyers really dig this stuff, getting the whole U.S. government, trying to get them to lift their restrictions and stuff like that.
But
I can get her to write a letter.
I was just say it may be even just as easy for his attorney to do just that. Reset back to the original document where the restrictions are, and say
Exactly.
and have them release it just so you can expedite the process.
Yeah.
And then get that Mr. Farnsworth prepared. We've taken it upon ourselves to prepare that document.
Yes, for you. Yes, I would agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that'll speed it along.
Right.
You know?
Not gonna hurt it.
No, you want to get this lifted as
Sometimes
soon
when you
as
see
possible.
a lawyer's name on it, you don't really want to lollygag.
Yeah, you want to move. Yeah. Yeah. Whereas if Dean and I write Farnsworth, he shakes that. Where's that going to go? You know?
I'll get back to you, John.
Have you, Dean, have you placed a copy of this report?
I gave a copy to the city engineer.
On May 24th, 2012? The report dated May 24th, 2012?
copy. I'm pretty sure I even gave a copy of the original deed for the restrictions were.
Okay.
At least I know the report was submitted.
Okay, it is, I guess it's part of the, when you submit the
Yeah, no, it's
subdivisions for signature, if you can make sure that those have been received and on file.
well, so the maps come down, I'll make sure that you know.
Any other comments from the board in that comment, in regards to that item? Okay. Second item, which, well, you still have the floor, do you have anything else to present, or?
Nope, I'll just wait till next.
Okay.
I know it's coming.
Item number one was that, item number two is sidewalks.
Basically, we discussed it downstairs, and I know that when Mr. Maggie developed, the lots along Louisiana, that when he subdivided those lots, created those individual lots for development, for building lots, and yes, that was a requirement. Here, lot 1A is going to be further subdivided. And, I think at that point, and we're talking about it, we can add a note to the map that, that the sidewalk is to be replaced or rebuilt, however you want to word it, upon further development, for the subdivision, for the development of lot 1A. So that is something that, it'd be a covenant that will be going with that parcel. But to ask him to do that, I just think it's more appropriate to pass that responsibility for the actual construction on to the next owner, who will be further developing that.
I would assume that the development of the lot is going to dictate the development of the sidewalk, not per se just the filing of the subdivision. That would be my thought, is that when whoever, whether it's Mr. Maggie or someone else goes to apply for a building permit, whether it's, just for lot 1A as a whole, or, they come back and they re-subdivide and they go get building permits, that's what would trigger,
And there can be a note on the map indicating that, upon the request for a building permit or permits, then sidewalk will be constructed, or whether you want to say for that lot or for all the frontage on Kansas.
I really think, this is just my one view on the board, is that, that if there's any lot that clearly there was clearly a sidewalk there at one point that connected all of this, and
I think though that the developers, if he creates 4 lots, and he's got a lot in the end and 2 lots in the middle that he's developing, and you got some lots in between, you don't want to try to build those sidewalks after you get through all your heavy traffic, from the lot, and then do that. And that's something that I suppose, but I would think that would be done after the lot, an individual lot, or if lot 1A is one large lot, then it'd be done. But if it's segmented, then each respective lot, upon or CO or however the city wants to handle it, is granted, that a sidewalk be constructed in front of that lot that is developed. I don't know, you want to put a sidewalk in there before it's developed, and make sure you don't get trucks.
Yeah, you're running over feet. You're absolutely right on that. Absolutely.
I think the reason why they're taking out was because of what was the demolition process. Did they beat them up then?
I would think as part of this subdivision, it would be a condition of lot A development. If lot A development is completed at once, it's just lot 1A, then the sidewalk goes in as all lot 1A.
Then we can put that in.
If it's going to be re-subdivided,
2 or 3 people.
then it's part of the re-subdivision process,
And
whatever
they'll come back to
planning
us
board
anyway.
would come back and they can consider the phasing of of the sidewalk,
We can work through a note, and we add that,
if that's,
that's fine. I think you're.
Yeah.
um. Okay, and once again, my thought is that the sidewalk along the edge of Kentucky and along the frontage of 1A, basically reconnecting the existing, you know, the sidewalk dies here, then there's actually a city barrier on the upper end of Kentucky where the sidewalk just dies. Actually, I was surprised there's even old crosswalks still painted in the street where the
We're just
sidewalks
looking at
were,
photos, yeah.
which I was,
But there's knee-high, high grass and
Yeah.
side was crosswalks.
yeah. So,
I understand, that's reasonable in having some type of note, on development 1A as a whole, or any for the subdivision 1A, sidewalks in place.
the only other question would be along the remaining land frontage along Kansas, just to complete that sidewalk. Then you have, once again, sidewalk along the frontage, a sidewalk along Kansas, and it connects to New York. I don't think along the Kentucky portion of the remaining lands, there was a sidewalk. It doesn't look like it, so I don't think that that's necessary. I think there's only one sidewalk along the,
So, in addition to the 1A, whether it's a whole or a segmented, any further development of remaining lanes will also require,
Sidewalk.
so.
Yeah.
just along the Kansas frontage. Just to
Weren't they having that in all the streets?
what do you mean?
Where there was a sidewalk, they were making the sidewalk in before. I know Kenny had to put the sidewalk in where there wasn't any sidewalk.
I think there's been a few instances of variation, but I think overall it's been generally consistent here. I think you've had to put sidewalk in on some previous subdivision.
Generally, it's been one side.
Once again, you see like one or two lots along Main that somehow.
So there I haven't,
I
over there, just.
I don't know how, but there is one or two lots where the sidewalks just sort of die, and the sidewalks go like 3 feet, or 2.5 feet.
That's
So
not
there's-
consistent, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we can put down, the sides a width.
Yeah, you definitely, I'll put that in the note, you mean? Yeah. A minimum.
But
So we keep continuity.
I was gonna say, we should definitely meet, I believe what is out there meets the city standard, but I don't know, it should be, at least the city standard.
we can do that, and that, we create a note and then send it to whoever, so review it and make sure that it's.
Actually, probably send it to Jody, and she can have it reviewed by the appropriate person. And otherwise, did the board have any other comments?
We had, some things in the secret that are mentioned in the minutes, that I had a question on, page 204, the secret was question 12 and question 13, where on question 12, of course, you're using the auto mapper, it checks the boxes for you in the system for the secret. So you're not really controlling the answers, it's giving you the answers, okay? So does the site contain a structure that's listed on the state or national register of historic places? The answer is no, that's correct. Is the proposed action located in an archaeological sensitive area? And the answer is yes. So if you've answered yes, we either need more explanation, or the explanation being, the system checked that box, I didn't check that box, and we don't know anything about any archaeological site.
It falls within that green, or that gray area, it was a same.
They put a huge circle around things, you know what I mean, that isn't necessarily what's really there. But because it's a seeker, we have to ask, and you need to have some answers, or else we have a problem, because we got a yes answer that's not mitigated,
Okay.
okay?
Generally, yep, but in this particular scenario, we're not developing the property, we're just doing a transfer of the property. So any property that's just doing a simple transfer, you're not disturbing anything. So if the next developer comes along, and he's further subdivides lot 1A, he's gonna do another secret form.
Yeah.
He'll be checking that same box. at that point in time, then he should be responding and supplying with the, the planning board with the findings from, SHPO. Are there any archaeological findings, through their studies? And then, because at that point in time, he's proposing disturbance. Now, this site has had significant disturbance through the areas.
That's what they just did,
Pardon?
because of the cleanup.
Not just that,
Yeah.
but even before, when they came in and developed it.
Yeah.
This site had some significant regrading.
Yeah.
And once you have that, then SHPO generally says,
Right.
there's been ground disturbance, if there was something there, because you have a certain strata as to when, if there's anything there, you have a certain strata that it's gonna be within.
Yeah.
And that strata has been.
Peeled that off.
Peeled off, moved
It's been
somewhere,
significantly,
build in.
And so the next question, of course, is does any portion of the site have any wetlands or water bodies? And would the proposed action alter, encroach, or whatever on any wetland or water bodies? Are you showing it as a wetland over there? That it's answering we had a question here. Let's see, did question. I think maybe the 12 and 13 isn't right. It's probably 12A, 12B. But anyway, unless an earlier version, because we have two versions of this. I have this version. we got it 2 times in a row. Let me see if the answer changed. No, we're good. You're good on the wetlands. No. So we were going to look into that, but it's okay. And I have a proposal. After having gone to a zoning board meeting, which I hadn't gone to in a year and a half, when they voted, they have a very specific motion when you're working on a short-term seeker, authorizing the chair to check the no to small impact box on questions 1 through 11, and also authorizing the chair to sign and check the second box that says we have determined there's no significant adverse environmental impacts. So it's a very specific motion as opposed to we find no adverse environmental impacts. Yeah, well, the form changed. When we got the new form, like 3 or 4 years ago, it was like, I think we need to change our motion. And we went to class, and the class said, yes, you should be doing this thing. And we had a typed statement, because the statement is so long that you're trying to make the motion on, and then you just keep saying the same thing over and over. It's the same words. But I'm suggesting we go that route. That's the short form, okay? And maybe for the long form, because on the long form, we don't ever actually get the extra pages. At least we haven't been, okay? We'll take a look at them and maybe come up with a specific environmental motion for that.
For that one as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
Some departments handle it within house, and come to the planning board, but it's however the planning board wants to handle it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
No, I think first off, before we get to that, maybe I'll let you, have you come up with the motion?
yeah, well,
Before we do that, just recognize we did have a public hearing advertised on this project. I don't believe there's anybody in the audience that wants to speak.
public hearing open, it's been closed.
No.
Yeah, okay.
It's wrong, but you open it and close it.
So, we open the public hearing.
Yeah, you open it, you close it.
No one here,
making
let's
comment.
close the public hearing.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that said, do you have any other comments or questions?
Not secret.
If not, do you have a motion?
For the record, I'd like to make a motion regarding the short form seeker, that the board will propose that the chair check boxes, the boxes saying no or small impact may occur for questions 1 through 11 on the short form seeker, and authorize the chair to check the second box that we have determined based on the information that the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts.
There you go.
So that is what's on the form and is what he's signing. Okay.
I'll second it.
Second, Bill. Any further comment? All in favor?
Aye.
That carries. Okay, do you have any other further comment or discussion on the subdivision?
You just gotta get the right words. Where it says.
Yeah, the guy will
That's the
make
tough
it
thing.
work. Yeah. That's not tough, it's just 15 minutes, and we're spelunking and figuring it out, you know?
Well, if there's no further comment, do I have a motion on the subdivision?
Make a motion on the subdivision as presented, with the sidewalks to be continued on that, what street is that?
Kansas?
Kansas,
Kansas, yeah.
upon further development,
Parcel,
1A, of lot 1A.
From further subdivision and development of
Yeah.
Lot 1A. Yeah.
And any
what
further.
about the remaining minutes?
And, very good, that's good.
And then the remaining lands on Kansas Ave.
Subdivision development.
And, well, that one's already there, but also on Kentucky Street on the 1A side.
Double check that. Pictures.
Tom said it's there. Sidewalk on Kentucky, go around the corner to Kentucky, is a sidewalk there?
It was.
Was.
The city removed it.
Continue the sidewalk on Kentucky towards Louisiana.
Yeah.
Is that everything you need on that?
Kentucky to Kansas. I think from Kentucky, or from this, yeah, I think that's it.
Louisiana to
I
Kansas.
think that's it. It's just from here.
That's a tough one. Did you get all that? That's a rough one. I'll start over.
You gonna start that over again?
Oh, man.
You're the man with the words, go for it.
Alright. Approval of PB, what's the number, PB?
2017-20, I believe.
Yes, 2017-20.
For the subdivision as provided, with sidewalks on Kansas for 1A when being developed,
Or
subdivided, and to continue on the remaining properties of Thomas Maggie on Kansas Ave.
When subdivided or
When
developed.
subdivided, and on lot 1A to the, what side is that? East side?
East side of
East side.
Kentucky Street.
East side of 1A on Kentucky Street.
Pretty much covers it.
Is that everything we needed?
It's gonna be clunky, but it'll be okay.
That is kind of funky and jerky, but
Do it, no.
Do it, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Say it again? Yes.
I'll
Okay,
second that.
we're good?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
And it's in your best interest to forward that, to try to get that covenant released.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cause else it'll have to be attached to every deed,
I'll
when they go
have Dean
subdivide.
send Kathy when we're.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna follow up with Dave Weinberg. I'll CC you.
Yep, CC everybody and their mother,
We'll
me,
get Kathy to write the
David,
letter.
yeah,
I'll even suggest that, hey, we'll prepare a document that, releases those restrictions that are referred to in that deed.
yeah,
We'll get it to you, you just give us something.
That sounds good.
All right.
yeah.
So,
Thank
Okay,
you.
folks,
so we need to
thank
back
you.
our minutes, right?
Good seeing
I
you,
can see
Tom.
you, John.
I will take care of you. You got a problem, you come see me, you know
I know where
that.
you're going.
Dean always,
We can't.
Oh, I always
I
say
know.
this, Tom, you know that.
yeah, Dean, you
Have a
go
good
see,
night.
you go see Ruger.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna hold.
I don't have time for that.
We'll hold the minutes until next
We don't
month.
worry bodies. Right.
Okay.
And I'm.
Good, you don't even mind, that I ripped off, you did really good there, Phil. I don't know what time you wrote.
Any further comments? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. That was a nice, easy meeting, I liked it.
It was.
Good.
Time is it? It's 7:22.
John, did you second this?
Not too bad.
What Ron
yeah.
does, just so you know, is he literally starts to take testimony, looks at the seeker, they don't vote on the seeker